So I want to welcome everybody. Rory will be here after me with the iBots. And my name, once again, is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director at 10 Minute Trades. I'm going to talk about what I think is one of the most powerful pieces of software we've ever written, and also one of the easiest setups to use. And it's a fantastic setup that works in all different types of market conditions. And that's why I love the magnet strategy so much. So, no matter what happens here today, you're going to come away with a lot of knowledge about setting up your charts to trade with NinjaTrader, particularly for trading news. And you're going to learn a lot about easily putting simple indicators on your charts to help you to make good decisions. And, if you really want to get involved, then you could join with us and get very involved in our magnet trade strategy. So, setups for volatile markets. That's the key. Any market condition is usable and tradable with the magnet strategy. No matter how wild the markets are, you'll see as we go through this webinar why the magnet strategies are really no riskier in super volatile markets than they are in normal markets. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about today. Again, for the third time, I'm Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director at 10 Minute Trades. Please remember, everything we discuss is for educational purposes. It's possible to lose money trading futures. This webinar will be recorded. We will send everybody a replay. And we're going to get started right this second. We trade futures at 10 Minute Trades. We use the NinjaTrader platform. All right. That doesn't mean you can't do what we do in a different platform, but our software installs into NinjaTrader, and that really is the key to taking advantage of the setups in the easiest way. It doesn't mean you can't put orders on a chart, but you wind up, it's more of a struggle if you don't use our software. So once more, we trade using the NinjaTrader platform and we trade futures. We have a system, we have multiple strategies that install into NinjaTrader and they become integrated into NinjaTrader as if they're part of the platform. We have three strategies: the news trader, which we call our JOBB news trader, our magnet strategy, and the trap trade strategy. The trap trade strategy is a specialized reversal trade. The magnets, I'm going to show you very specifically exactly what the magnets are. And then our news trader software has a bunch of different setups built in. We have our traditional breakout, we have a reverse breakout, range trades, quite a few different setups that are built into our news trader software. And we're not going to get much into the news trader today, but a lot of you know us and have seen our webinars. And if you haven't, all you have to do is go to our website at www.10minutetrades.com. You can sign up for our free schedule. You can get a free video how to find your own 10-minute trades. And also what you might want to do is check out our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and obviously just type in 10-minute trades. You'll find us in a second. And sign up for our YouTube channel so you can get access to all of our free videos and educational material. We have a ton of stuff on YouTube teaching all of the ways that you use our methods. Because what we do is we make all of these webinars public the moment the webinars are done so you can review them. And of course, we send out the replays to make it easy. The elements of our system are the weekly schedule, the daily trade action reports, trade room access, and our strategies: news trader, magnet trade strategy, and the trap trade. The weekly schedule is very simply just like what it sounds. Every Sunday I send out a weekly schedule to all our members and anyone else that wants the schedule. It's free. Like I said, if you go to our website, 10minutetrades.com, if you sign up for that free video, how to find your own 10-minute trades, that will put you on the weekly schedule email list, and you'll automatically get the schedule. Every Saturday and Sunday we do a couple of different emails. We send out our trade of the week emails and our schedule emails. And the trade of the week is fun because you get to see the best trades of that week. And it gives you a good idea what it's like to be a real news trader. The weekly schedule shows the time of the event that we're going to trade, the time that our trade room opens, the specific name of the event that we're looking at trading, the instruments that we're considering trading. That could change when we get to the trade room because the markets are very variable and volatile these days. And then we have a risk level and whether or not the event gets a daily market mover action report. Not every event that we trade in the trade room gets a DMM action report. And that doesn't necessarily mean that an event is not worth trading. It's just that some events we do different types of research, so they are what we call trade room events. They're events that take place only in the trade room, and we don't send information on how to trade the event. Our DMM reports are actually a subscription with many trades that we send out each week and very specific methods on how you would trade them. Obviously, you can come into our trade room and trade them with us. We feel that that is the best way to take advantage of what we offer, but we do have many members that just get our trade reports and they trade them on their own. They don't come into the trade room. They just like the reports. The importance of the weekly schedule is extremely important because even if you're a discretionary trader and you're not a news trader like we are, you still want to know when things are taking place in the markets. Very simply, if you're trading natural gas and you're in the market on Thursdays at 10:30 in the morning, your natural gas trade, if you're in a trade, can be damaged by the report. So you want to know when news is being released. Sometimes you don't have that luxury. Sometimes a tweet is made and it moves the market dramatically. But you want to control your ability to know when things are going on in the market. So if you get our schedule, you'll know what times of day to be careful if you're in the market or getting ready to take a trade. And then we also show you when we're going to be streaming on YouTube. We stream on YouTube 3 or 4 times a week generally. The Daily Market Mover Report is very simply a report that has history of the event we're trading. It often shows the specific instrument we're trading, the risk of that report, and it also has a little journal on it. In other words, if you look here, right below this yellow line, the yellow area here is our actual setup that we're going to consider using when we get to the trade room. Then below that is actually a journal of the last 6 events and how they behaved. How were the trades? Were they winners? Were they losers? Were they break-evens? And then we also have text about the event, advice, information, and then sometimes, like you see here on the Fed, FOMC, which is appropriate because the Fed is next week with the FOMC statement, there might be a second way to trade the event. On this report up top, we have a breakout trade, and then down at the bottom, we have what we call a trap trade. The trap trade is an event when we expect a reversal to take place, and we actually make money on the reversal. The breakout is the opposite. On the breakout, we're assuming that the news is going to come out, we're going to get pulled into the market, and the market is generally going to go in one direction far enough to preferably hit both our targets. Sometimes it will only hit one target, and then it might reverse. And then, of course, be aware, not every trade is a winner. Some trades just don't work. And there are reports that aren't behaving well. They're not performing well over time. And we try to avoid those reports. Why would we trade poorly performing reports rather than try to stick with the best of the best performers? So that is the way we do things. So don't ask me what's your success rate on all your reports, because that question makes no sense. We don't lump all the reports together. The question that makes sense is, hey, how's your FOMC statement report doing? Is it worth trading? Because we look at each individual report separately. They all have a separate setup. They all have a different performance level. Some of them are great, fantastic winners. Others are troublesome. We try to stick with the best performers. Okay? So that's very important. A lot of times people ask, hey, what's your success rate on all your reports? And then when I try to explain, you can't look at it that way. They think we're scamming them, and it's not the way it works. You have to look at each report individually. So we call our trading system appointment-based trading. It's a time-based, pre-planned approach to the market. We schedule our trades on specific days at specific times, most commonly up to a week in advance. You can certainly schedule your trades up to a month in advance if you prefer. There are three main categories of trade triggers, and that's what creates our events, these triggers. Trigger one is high impact economic reports. Next week, for instance, you've got the Fed. We've got GDP next week. There's ISM manufacturing next week. Those are high impact economic reports. Trigger category number two, earnings reports, big company earnings reports. Next week we have Amazon, we got Microsoft, we've got Humana, we've got United Health, our absolute one of our favorite earnings trades. The great thing about the way we trade earnings, and it makes people a little bit confused, people think we're trading stocks when we say that we trade earnings, but no, we invented a method of trading futures on selected stock earnings. We don't trade every stock's earnings. We study stock earnings and we trade the stocks that move the futures in the most tradable way. It's a unique, fantastic, fun way to trade earnings. Next week is a big week because the big guys are coming. Apple, Amazon, Meta, those are three of our favorites, and we'll be in our trade room gunning for those. So that's another important category where we get our trades, big company earning reports. And then the third category, market opens and closes. Next week, we're actually going to trade some market opens. Right now, the market opens are behaving a little bit better than the closes, and it goes through cycles. Sometimes the market close trades are behaving better. Right now, the market opens have been trading well, and we have a lot of members trading them. We have not been trading them in an organized manner in our trade room. We talk about them, we share advice about them, but this week we're starting a little bit more of an organized market open trading trade room. So this week we'll have at least 2 market open rooms. That's trigger category number 3, where we get our setups. And we use the calendars, the free calendars, because there are hundreds of triggers within these categories. Where do we find our events? Forex Factory, investing.com, tradingeconomics.com, financialjuice.com. Those are our 4 favorite calendars. They're all free. Financial Juice also has a pro version. They have a news squawk box. It's very reasonably priced. We could not live without it, and we love it, and we subscribe to it. And if you're a serious news trader, you should make that part of one of the tools that you buy. We try to specialize in letting our members know free or inexpensive tools to help them trade the markets. It's easy to spend so much money, and it's hard to make money. We want you to spend as little as possible so you could make as much as possible. So Forex Factory is a great calendar. You just go there, you click on the word calendar, and you get a week's worth of events that you can look through. We've done the heavy lifting. When you join our service, we know which one of these events are going to move the markets, and those are some of the events that we're trading. And we go through all these calendars, and they all have different things that they do well. Investing.com has excellent real-time news results. So why do news reports move the market? And looking at investing.com gives you the perfect reason. You've got a forecast, you've got the actual news result. When the forecast gets compared to the news result, it creates a move in the market. It's that move that we're trading. So investing.com, you go to tools, economic calendar, and you get to look at a full week of their calendar after you click this week. Very good calendar. We use it every day. TradingEconomics.com is one of the new calendars we look at. What I love about this calendar, it has the grain reports on it. There's 3 or 4 major grain reports that we trade throughout the month. The grain stocks report, WASDE, the NOPA crush report, and no other calendar that I've seen shows those reports and the time for them. So it just saves time. It's one less place I have to look for the grain reports. So I like tradingeconomics.com. And then finally, the most important place that we go for earnings is earningswhispers.com. Could not live without it. Let me see if I can show it to you. If it's not working, I'm not going to spend time trying to get it loaded right now. Earningswhispers.com. For whatever reason, it's not shooting up. It's a great, great website. Has an excellent calendar for learning the schedule of earnings that are upcoming. You can trade with us in a prop account, in a real cash money account, any way that you want. With prop trading, as you know, all the companies are different. They all have different rules. You got to check the rules. Plenty of them allow the type of trading that we do, and especially the magnet trade, because it's not a quote unquote news trade the way our traditional trades are. Our software, once again, is 3 strategies that are custom add-ons to NinjaTrader. The strategies have multiple setups. We can automate or semi-automate your trade entries, targets, and stops. And our software is a super ATM automated trade manager. And that goes for all of our setups. You enter numbers into the software and it then manages your trades for you. So you don't have to learn the programmer ATMs that are built into the various platforms. NinjaTrader has an ATM programmer. TradeStation has an ATM programmer. Our software works with NinjaTrader, and you no longer have to use their ATM. You can just use our software. I'm going to show you today how to set up your charts for trading magnets, because I think it's the key to being an expert magnet trader. It's also the way that we set up our charts for trading the news. The indicators that I'm going to show you today are the current day OHL, the open, high, low, pivots, order flow VWAP. It's a free indicator if you're a lifetime NinjaTrader owner, subscriber. If you're not a lifetime subscriber, they have a free VWAP that's exactly the same, and we supply that for you. We show you where to get it. We, of course, put volume on our charts. The net change display, no one knows what that is. And then the squeeze, which is not generally free. There are some free squeezes out there. We can help you find a squeeze if you need us to. They are fantastic indicators for momentum. So let's get right down to it. Let me show you the charts that we use to trade. This is today's market at the moment, right this second. It's quiet because it's lunchtime. It's also Friday, but look how simple and clean our charts are. We have a squeeze indicator at the bottom. We have a simple volume indicator. We have pivots, all right, and they show up in various levels on the charts. We have this red line, which is part of the current OHL, the open, high, low, which is the key to our magnet trades. We also have the VWAP, volume weighted average profile, a very simple indicator. Why is it important? It's important because when we define what a magnet trade is and what magnets are, the VWAP is a perfect magnet. I'm going to define that in a second. And then we have our pivots. I'm going to start with a blank, brand new chart. With a NinjaTrader, you just go to New, you go to Chart, It opens a chart, and you can choose an instrument. Let's choose the MNQ because it's one of the most popular instruments that people trade. We'll put it, normally the default is a 1-minute chart, okay? And 5 days of data loading, trading hours, use instrument settings. That's important for what we're going to do. So I'm going to okay it. It creates a brand new chart for me. All right. And I'm going to show you how to set this chart up for news trading and, more importantly, for magnet trading. It's going to take about 5 minutes. First thing that I don't like is see the price, it's way too close to the margin. So I'm going to right click my chart and I'm going to click properties and I'm going to change my right side margin to 50. I just want to give myself a little more space. Apply it, okay it. So now I have a right side margin and it's not hanging right up against the price. Don't forget to turn on your chart trader. Up top, the top of the chart, you have an icon for chart trader. Click chart trader. Now you've got a way to enter your orders, right? If you're not using our software and you want to place an order, you need the chart trader. You want to have chart trader on anyway because we put buttons on chart trader and it's just the way that you can do things at a time. If you need to close an order, buy an instrument, you want to have chart trader. Now, when you have chart trader, a couple of things you want to do. Right click in the blank space, go to properties. I like to show realized P&L when flat, so I check that. And there's one other, let's see if the display that I want it to show is not points. I like to show the money, and everybody's different. So I put it to currency, apply it, and okay it. So now my chart trader shows money, okay, up here in this blank area. And it also, at the end of a trade, shows me if I've made money. Chart trader is concurrent, meaning each trade is added. There is a way to set it to 0, but for now, just know that if you do 3 trades, it'll show you all of the profit and loss added or minus together. So that's chart trader. You have to remember to turn it on. Now I'm just going to put all the indicators that I use to trade the news. And it's very simple. We're going to right click the chart. We're going to click indicators. First indicator I'm going to put on is, let's put on the net change display. Net change, and these are all free indicators. If they're not free, I will tell you. All right. Net change display. Double click it, so it shows up under configured. It has a unit of measurement. Most of the time it's going to be either on points or ticks. I'm going to put it on points because the MNQ is calculated in points. And the location of the indicator, I want it to be the bottom right of my chart. So I just click bottom right, location, apply it, and okay it. Now you notice there's this number at the bottom right of my chart. That's the net change display, and it's showing me the value that the MNQ has since 6 p.m. last evening when the markets reopened after the futures were closed from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Why is it showing me that particular time frame? Because when you right-click the chart and click on Data Series, and you look at trading hours, the trading hour template, the default is use instrument settings. When we first created the chart, this was the screen we got when we put it on a 1-minute chart. Trading hours is a default setting of use instrument settings. That default setting calculates your indicators from when the markets reopened at 6 p.m. previously. There are other times of day that traders might want to calculate their indicators. Some folks might want to calculate from 9:30 in the morning. Others might want to calculate from midnight. We like to calculate from 6 p.m. You want to calculate from the time that most people will be using. Anytime something is a default, just by the definition, if it's a default, All your new traders are probably going to leave it there because they don't know how to change it yet. So your default setting is going to be the setting that has the most users using that setting. And you're going to see why that's so important when it comes to magnets. So we leave our trading hours on use instrument settings. Just apply it and okay it. And that's what our instrument settings are. And that's where our net change display is calculating from. So now I'm going to add our pivots, for instance. So we just scroll down, we click, right-click indicator, right-click the chart, click indicators, go down to pivots, double-click it, and now my pivots are on the screen. The only thing I sometimes do is change a color of a pivot. The PP, which is an important central pivot, I always make it black. Apply it, okay it. And now if I shorten up my chart, scrunch it down a little bit, we see our pivots, R1, R2, R3, S1, S2, S3, and PP. Very important. Next indicators, the most important one that we use, current day OHL. Double click it, current day OHL. All of these are free, by the way. Puts the current open, the current high, and the current low on the chart. Red for the low, green for the high, orangish goldenrod for the open. Apply it and okay it. And now we have our most important indicator, especially for our magnet trade. The orange was the previous open. The green is the high of the day. Notice the MNQ is blasting through the high of the day. Maybe Trump is saying something. Maybe somebody's tweeting. So you know what I do when I'm trading during the day when it's not specific news? I've got Financial Juice Pro on the line because I'm watching the news feed second by second to see if anything's going on. And something might be going on. So I also make sure that I've just upgraded the screen by clicking the refresh. And then remember what I said before, they have that squawk box. I can be listening to the news in my headset. I can hear what's going on without even watching their chart. They also have Trump's schedule. That we never needed with a president before, but with the tweets, you want to know. With news conferences, you want to know. It's very helpful. So I like to keep Financial Juice Pro, their calendar up all day long. Then when I see the market shooting up or moving in a more dramatic fashion, I can take a look over. If I haven't heard something in the squawk box, I might have an opportunity to trade if I want to put on a quick scalp. And yes, our software for you discretionary traders out there, besides all the news trading that we do, you can absolutely set up simple discretionary scalps with our software in any market that supports NinjaTrader. Okay, so we've got our pivots. We have our current day high and lows and our open. Did I forget any? We forgot our volume. So we're going to go to indicators. We're going to put our volume up and down. Another free one. Volume up, down. Just apply it and okay it. I'm going to shrink it down a little by putting my cursor to the line that separates it from other things on the chart. And then I have one more final indicator that we use a lot. I love the squeeze. We are using a squeeze that mimics the John Carter Hubert Centers squeeze called the TTMS squeeze. The key with the squeeze is set the colors up so that they show you the way that the squeeze is working in a very manageable way. And I'll show you what I mean. We're going to set the zero rising to coral. The falling is red, lime. And then we're going to do a slightly closer green. We can use, you don't want it to be close like that. Let me set it to green. So I've got lime and green. The normal dot color is black, or it could be midnight blue, and I'll show you the importance of that. And then the squeeze dot color, I like to make it cyan. So let me show you what I'm talking about with the squeeze. Now, I love the fact that when I okayed and applied the squeeze, look what it did. It put it on very bizarre where all the momentum bars are exactly the same. If that ever happens and you're installing the squeeze in Ninja, it has an auto scale. If it's checked, just turn it off and reapply it. Okay it. If it doesn't fix it, just go back to the squeeze properties and then put the auto scale to check, apply it, and now the squeeze is normalized. Everything is fine. If you notice, the squeeze changes colors. Those color changes are giving us our momentum signals. The way that I like to use the squeeze, which is a little bit different than many other people use it, I'm taking a signal as soon as I get a color change if it's appropriate. If you notice here, we've got dark red, dark red, dark red. Generally, and we're below the 0 line, okay? That generally is a short signal. A lot of people wait for a long signal for the squeeze to break the 0 line and start turning green. I believe that this change in color from dark red to coral with a change in momentum, a shorter line to the upside, is a long signal. So my long is here instead of all the way over here. The way that we look at the squeeze, I believe, gives us an earlier entry. One other thing we do on the squeeze, right click on the indicator setup, make sure the squeeze is chosen. The momentum length in the parameters is 17, and that's optimized in particular for a 30-second chart. That's the way I love using the squeeze the most, on a 30-second chart. When you're seeing very smooth colors like we're seeing here, that's a very nice indication that it's a good squeeze day. A lot of times you might get inconsistency, long, short, long, short. That's an inconsistent squeeze day. Your signals are more reliable when it looks the way it looks today. Today is a nice, reliable squeeze day. One other indicator, very important, super magnet. We love it, and it's the VWAP. And then I'm going to tell you why magnets are so important and what a magnet really even is. Go to indicators. We're going to go to order flow VWAP. Click it, double click it, all right? And we're going to go to standard deviation bands and make it a 0. That's it, make it none. Standard deviation bands, none. Apply it, okay it. Now we have a VWAP on the charts. Here's our VWAP. Okay, one other thing I like to do, let me show you. I like to make the VWAP a little bit thicker, all right? A little bit thicker. How do I do that? Let's see if I remember. Go to order flow VWAP and the line. Scroll down and make the width of that line a 2. All right, apply it, okay it. Now look at our VWAP line. It's a little thicker. It's easier to find. Why are all of these levels on the chart, why are they magnets? The pivots, they're magnets. The high of day, green line, magnet. The VWAP is a magnet. The PP pivot, that's a magnet. Some magnets are stronger than others. Highs of days, lows of days, better magnets. We're absolutely recording. Better magnets. R1, PP, R3. Good solid magnets. I'm not a lover of R2. Not as good a magnet. The open, not normally as good a magnet. My favorite magnets, high of day, low of day. So what is a magnet? A magnet is a level on the chart that hundreds and hundreds of traders all look at in a similar way. And what that means is many, many traders look at the high of the day and they place orders around the high of the day. We use that as a place we put stops. We use it as a place we put targets. Same thing for lows of day. Same thing is true for pivots. Same thing is true for the VWAP. So those are what we call magnets. Magnets are exits. exits. Keep that in mind. These are areas that traders are putting orders. So what happens? Your order gets filled, your trade ends. So we wrote a strategy that looks at these levels as exits, and we call it the magnet strategy. And we have two strategies within one. We have an automated or semi-automated high of day, low of day magnet strategy. That's my personal favorite. It's quick, it's easy, and the beauty of these magnet strategies and setups is if you love trading the NQ, no problem. Use the NQ chart. If you are like me and you love trading gold, no problem. Trade the gold chart. Every single chart that you look at uses magnets. Every chart has highs of days, lows of days. Every chart has pivots, right? So the only important thing you want to do is choose instruments to trade that have good volume. Don't trade an instrument that no one looks at and that has no volume, because then you're not going to get reliable signals. And that's true for all your trading. The other piece of advice that I've been particularly giving to traders lately is don't try to be an expert on every instrument. Pick a couple of instruments that you specialize in. You don't need to be an expert on the RTY, the MNQ, the ES, the MN, the MNY, the MYM, gold. You know what I'm saying? Pick a couple. Become a gold futures expert. Become a mini S&P expert that maybe you like to trade the MES and the MNQ, for instance. Pick one or two, three at the most, and study those charts over and over. Because what you'll find is you will learn their behavior. And it's just like our normal news trades. Behavior is just as important as indicators. Why do our news trades work? Because we study the behavior. We study the behavior of the jobs report. We study the behavior of how gold acts on the jobs report every month. We're not looking at Elliott waves on the job report. There's no time. The report takes place too fast. But magnets are very important and very usable, especially after the news. After the news, the burst is over, the spike is done. You might now start moving into a magnet. So we wrote a strategy that exits at the magnets and lets you control it. Also, if you have your own custom indicators that you love, maybe you're a Fibonacci trader and you love Fibonacci's. Fibonacci's are magnets because lots of people look at Fibonacci retracements. So, of course, you can use Fibonacci's with our custom magnet strategy. And I'll show you what I mean. We've created two built-in setups. So first off, you now know how to set up your charts perfectly for trading magnets and news trading. Now, so what I was saying, let me show you a simple magnet trade. I'll show you a recording first. So here is a magnet trade. Our magnet software puts lines on the chart that are your entry. The entry is before you get to the magnet. Remember, magnets are exits. So we are going to put our entry below where the magnet might be. In this case, the magnet is the high of the day. So our orders, our exits, are showing up at the magnet or before the magnet. And when you get there and you start going towards the high of the day, that's when you start taking your profits. So we enter our trade before the high of the day. Those X's are orders. We hit our first target. Our software allows us to control our stops and move our stop to safety if we want to move it. And then we're looking for another move towards the high of the day even more. Bingo. That is a simple magnet trade. Orders are put on before the high of day, and we're exiting at the high of day. That was a 2-order trade, and that would offer some very sweet profits. Let me show you another one because the concept is extremely simple. Here's another magnet. I love gold. Gold has very, very predictable behavior at times. So here's a magnet. The thick line was our order. I was figuring on a test of the low, which is that red line. These are our buttons. I'll show you how to use the magnet. When you get to the order, if our magnet is set to automatic, the orders show up on the chart automatically. And then as price moves towards the magnet, bingo, another winning magnet trade. That trade was taken in our prop account. And you could see why this is a very nice system. When you get an email from Apex and Apex says, hey, what's your system for trading with us? You could very easily explain to them, I like to trade a test of the low of the day, I like to trade a test of the high of the day, or I like to find specific levels that I trade to test. And that's exactly what the magnet strategy does. Now, the market's very quiet now, but it doesn't mean I can't show you the concept of the way that our magnet trade works. It's very simple. Right-click the chart, click on Strategies, and we just click Magnet Trade. Our default setup is the high of day, low of day magnet strategy. We have a proximity item. I set the proximity to 5. We have a position size. We can trade 2 different positions for the magnet trade, and you can control the number of contracts at each position. So right now the default is 1 position, and I'm going to exit -3 ticks before I actually get to the magnet. So remember, this is our high of day, low of day system because it says magnet trade enabled, high of day, low of day. So I'm putting on 1 position. I'm going to exit 3 ticks before I get to the magnet. If I want to put on a second trade, I can add that position by making it a 1. If I make it a 2, that would mean 2 contracts. And if I'm trading another position on this same trade, maybe I want it to be 8 ticks above the magnet. So if that target 2 tick offset is 8, it'll be a target 8 ticks above the magnet. And then I just put in my stop. For now, let's say 30 ticks. I can choose to trade long or short only, and sometimes you do want to do that. And we also have a way that you could start trading the magnet software at a certain time, and you can start and end your trades based on a certain time. So very simply, that's all I have to enter in at the moment to the strategy. Other than you always need to choose an account with NinjaTrader. So right now we'll just leave it on Sim. We'll apply the trade. We can name our trade with the label command. So right now we're on gold. We have a gold chart. So we'll call it GC Magnet Trade. Apply it, OK it. Make sure that we're on Sim. All right. And when I enable my magnet trade by turning it on, watch what happens. We're going to get a whole bunch of buttons. I have an Enter Now button. So if you'll notice, a couple of things happened. These heavy lines showed up on the chart, very close to the high of day and the low of day. The green line is the high of day. The red dotted line is the low of day. I can move these order entry lines just by grabbing it. These are order entries. That's all they are. Very simple. They are order entries. If you are certain you want to trade in one direction, you can turn the other direction off. If the long button is off, it will not take the long trade. If the short button is off, it won't take the short trade. The idea is if price moves into the level of that thick line, it will turn on the magnet. It will blink purple and make an audio sound. If I press the magnet entry button, it'll automate the trade. And if price goes down to that thick line, it'll put me in the magnet trade short with a first target of 3 ticks before it gets to the low of the day and 8 ticks past the low of the day. Because remember, that's how I told the magnet trade to trade. One position, -3, that was 3 ticks before the magnet. And then position number 2, 8 ticks. That's a magnet trade. It's incredibly simple, but you want to do things to help you. Why might you want to take a trade and why might you not want to take a trade? You might want to use the squeeze to help you. If the market is pushing up, 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 you may not want to take that short magnet trade down, okay? It may not be the best time to take a short trade. You might want to just wait until the market breaks out and gets to your high of day. That's the simple magnet high of day, low of day system. Every chart has a high of day, low of day. I can automate the trade by pressing the purple button, and then if it gets to this little area here, it fills me and it puts my orders on the chart. And if the price now falls and tests the low, I'm going to have a winning magnet trade. That's how the magnet trade works. Every instrument, like I said, can be a magnet trade. For instance, we looked at the MNQ before. The MNQ just finished making highs of days. The best magnets, in our experience, are when the magnet hasn't been hit in a while. This is a great magnet here. Let me show you why. If we scroll back a little on the MNQ and move forward, and we move forward here, over here in this area, it was 11:40 in the morning, and the high of day is above us over here. You're watching, market goes into a very bullish price action. You could see it starts at 11:45. It consolidates. The squeeze confirms in this area. You've got a magnet setting up. Exit at the high of day. You have a nice winning trade. Another fantastic feature of the magnet trade. Enter now. Let's say you're over here in your price action. All right? You're over here. We don't know where this market's going to go, right? We don't know what's going to happen. We only know that we have very good price action that's looking very strongly like the magnet's going to get tested. Maybe even back here, you're waiting for the magnet and you have your trade enabled, right? And your orders are here. And you turn it on to be automated. When your trade is turned on to be automated, let me just reset it. When it's turned on to be automated, I can enter now with the enter now button. I would always choose a direction. So I turn off short so there's no confusion. If I want to take a long because market's moving up, 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 I could then press the enter now button and it'll just automatically put me in a long trade using the setup that I've put into the strategy. One position, 3 ticks before I get to the high, a second position, 8 ticks after I get to the high. Maybe I want to trade more contracts. I can do that. I have my stop controlled also. I had a 30-tick stop. So remember, I can automate the trade. I could trade it manually. It's a manual trade if the purple button is not on. And then we have another complete magnet trade system. We have the custom magnet trade. for folks that want to use their own indicators or your own levels. For instance, the VWAP is a very popular level. So if I want to choose a custom trade. So when I say the VWAP is a very important popular level, that means the VWAP gets tested all the time. So we can set up a trade to be tested at the VWAP. The exit of the VWAP is going to be our trade. So instead of using the high of day, low of day system, I choose custom level. And there's a custom level area. There's a blank little area. All I do is look at the VWAP, 23398, right? 23398 is all I got to type in, 23398. You could put in 0.68 if you want to. It doesn't matter that much. And I have position size. Maybe I want to trade 2 contracts. Maybe I'm going to have a 10 or a 15 tick target. I'll use a 30 tick stop. Let me show you what happens. Apply it and OK it. When I enable the custom VWAP trade, it puts my order entry right at the VWAP, because to make it easy, always use your exit as your custom level and then just simply move your order for your entry. Everyone's going to have smart analysis, okay? Now, right now in this market, the VWAP is not your smart magnet because the market's pushing up. It's not moving down for a test of the VWAP. But if it were, this is how you would set it up. You just very simply type in the custom level, and then all the other features that I just showed you on the magnet, your positions, your stops, your directions, whether it's automated or not automated, you do the exact same way with the custom level, so that any level that you like to use on the chart can be the level that you choose for the magnet. Any questions? All right. I want to get into a very nice offer that we want to make for everyone, so you could come and trade these magnets with us all week, trade all month, in fact. You understand now what the magnet strategy is. It's just a simple software strategy that installs into NinjaTrader and allows us to program our magnet exits at highs of days, lows of days, or any custom level. What triggers a magnet trade is the level itself, because lots of traders are putting orders around those levels. When you are able to do simple analysis of a trend so that you're in touch with whether the market is moving long or short, that's the key to finding the best performing magnets. We also have a simple system called the reverse continuation. In literally 1 minute, you can trade a reverse continuation trade with our strategy for scalping. Seeing is believing, folks. So here's the deal. You can join us for every one of our upcoming news and earnings and magnet trade rooms. You'll get all of our software strategies, everything that we offer, all of our members in our pro membership, our software licenses for all 3 strategies. You'll get our daily market trade reports. Those are for the news events. You know, you will often get a trade report that will then, after the news, have a magnet that sets up. Many magnet trades set up after the news is released. You'll get those daily market reports. You'll get a subscription to our pro trade room, so you can come into our trade room just like our schedule showed, right? Remember at the beginning of this webinar, I showed you our schedule. So for instance, this is what our schedule for next week is, a monster. There's so many trades. The room opens. That's when we'll be in the trade room. Okay, so our schedule, our first trade of the week is going to be 5:30 in the morning. We'll be in the room. That's important to know when we're going to be in our trade room. We're in our trade room, I would say minimum 15 times a week on average. You'll get our trap trade. You'll get our reversal continuations. You'll get to trade all the earnings with us. We talk constantly about trading the way that we trade in prop accounts or in a cash account. Our 10-minute trade pro membership is just a 30-day trial for $20.25. It renews at $97 a month, which is our normal price. All you have to do to cancel is send us a simple email. I'm going to give you the email address before we leave. And this offer expires Sunday at midnight. www.gopro25.com. Spend a month with us for $20.25 and figure out if this is the right way for you to trade. Most people love trading with us and they stay. This deal is going to go until Sunday at midnight. www.gopro25.com. Everything you get is our full pro membership. News Trader software, the Magnet Trade. We teach you the appointment-based methodology. Choose the news events you want to trade. Learn all about trading the earnings with us in our earnings trade rooms. Trade on a schedule. That's the key to what we do. And I will guide you. You saw how I took the time to show you how to set up your charts. I am a fantastic teacher because I love teaching you how to do this. And I don't rush through all the setups. If you have questions, you can ask the questions in our trade room. And we're happy to answer. And our members are happy to share in the trade room. If you need help, or you have additional questions, just send us an email, help@10minutetrades.com, and sign up. How can you go wrong? $20.25 for a full month, www.gopro25.com. It's a fantastic offer. Trading magnets, highs of days, lows of days, your custom setups. It's a fantastic way to trade. When there's a tweet, and there's a magnet getting ready to be hit, that tweeting volatility doesn't destroy your opportunity to take a trade in the market like it does with so many other setups. The magnet trade is perfect for these kind of markets. So folks, I want to thank you for joining me in this webinar. Rory, you out there?
I am, Lee. Thank you.
All right. I want to thank you for the enjoyable. We always have fun on these dual webinars, so thanks again, and I'll see you the next time, Rory.
Thanks a lot, Lee. Great presentation. Great job. Yeah, Lee Goldstein, real expert at trading the news. I've known Lee for a decade now, at least. And let me tell you, he knows exactly which of these trades. He calls them the family money trades. And he has a tremendous amount of data to back it up. Honest as the day is long, and for 20 bucks, absolutely, definitely worth it. Taking a look at.